Hey everyone, Cal here with another Tiny Tina's Wonderlands video, and we're going to be looking at a leveling build for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Alright, so jumping straight to the Stabbomancer class, you're going to actually see the skill tree on the left hand side in the video. Obviously we have Dirty Fighting, which gives you critical hit chance as an increase by 30%. It's really nice to have, especially if you combo this with any other class. It's just fantastic. But of course, first we have to choose between picking Ghost Blade or From the Shadows. Now obviously From the Shadows lets you enter stealth, so it turns you invisible, and all damage dealt is automatically a critical hit. However, critical hit damage is also reduced by 20%. So if you love using your guns, then I would recommend using From the Shadows once you hit level 7. But if you like throwing out a Ghost Blade that spins around and deals damage in an area, I mean, it's pretty fun. I actually do like using the Ghost Blade. But of course, for those more serious builds at level 40 and endgame, From the Shadows is probably the way to go. But while leveling, Ghost Blade works completely fine, so you can use that from the get-go of the game. So with your first points, we're going to go down to Arsenal, where you have to purchase it obviously activated, and this increases melee damage, spell damage, and gun damage. What you want to do is toss 5 points into that, so all of our damage is increased by 15% for each one. Again, that's melee, spell, and gun damage, all increased by 15%. Then we're going to drop down a tier to follow up. We're going to put all 3 points into this. This also increases our melee damage and also gets us stacks after we do gun damage. Then we're going to move one to the right and go to Swift Death. Now while moving, you gain increased damage, and with this you want to put 5 points into it. Again, that gives us an extra 10% damage while walking. Then on the side of that, we have Exploit Their Weakness. This one's pretty cool because whenever you apply a status effect to an enemy, the affected enemy takes increased damage from all sources for its duration that it's up. So you want to put 3 stacks into that. Now this actually increases damage by 6%. Again, it's a really nice debuff for the enemies, because once you do status effects like poison, cryo, whatever it is, they then take extra damage. Of course, that's just fantastic, especially while leveling through the game. Then, of course, we're going to head over to Nimble Fingers. We're going to put 3 points into this. Now what this does is when you deal melee damage, your fire rate and spell damage increases. And the fire rate increases by 18%, spell damage increases by 24%, and that lasts for 8 seconds. Then we're going to combo that with this ability Shadow Step. Now when you actually melee attack, it's a guaranteed a critical hit for a short duration. So of course that's fantastic. All your melee hits are then buffing you up. It's just pretty cool wombo combo, especially if you're going into that melee build. Then we're going to drop down another tier to Sneak Attack. This is the one that increases critical hit damage, so those crits are going to hit hard. So we want to put 5 points into that, and that gives us an extra 15% damage. We're going to also go to the right to Elusive. Now this one's pretty cool. You can now shoot and sprint at the same time. So if you like to actually move about quite a lot and you like your mobility, this is a perfect skill for you. Just dump a point in there. You know, you get plus 10% evasion at default walk speed, and you can sprint and shoot. It's pretty cool. Now, of course, we're going to buff up that melee one more time with Alchemical Agent. Melee critical hits apply a random status effect. So you are now debuffing the enemy with extra sources because of the skills we had before. We're getting a critical hit on melee and buffing spell damage and our guns. Again, it's pretty nuts. The Stabbomancer actually has a really nice combo with all of the skills. And not only that, because we've just got Alchemical Agent giving us a critical hit with the other abilities we've got, we want to put 5 points into 1,000 cuts. Now what this does is critical hits grant increased damage dealt for a duration of time. Melee critical hits also grant additional stacks, and this is 1% per stack with duration of 12 seconds. Max stacks is 25, so that's absolutely nuts comboed with everything else we've been putting points into so far. Then we're going to obviously put a point in for the capstone. This is Executioner's Blade. Gun and spell critical hits have a chance to create an ethereal blade above the target that impales them after a short delay. This has a 20% chance and it deals 100% damage of your melee weapon. So obviously this skill tree is very busted when put together. Now when it comes to multiclassing, obviously I'm going to let you guys pick as usual which multiclass you want to go into. But with this build you're going to have 11 skill points left for whatever multiclass you go into. But overall, the Stabbomancer alone works perfectly fine. Like I say, you guys are free to spec into any other subclass going now, just because you have 11 points spare and you have a perfect wombo combo of a Stabbomancer build for the rest of the game. But hopefully you now have an understanding on how to build the Stabbomancer, and as usual, our goal here is to give you the best guides that are quick and let you jump straight into the game. So if you like that, then hit the like button and subscribe for more Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. My name is Cal, and here's a big thank you from everyone at Realm Space Gaming for watching our videos, and don't forget to enjoy the rest of your day.